optics is being used on private American citizens by ex-military personnel. What GPS spoofing and sonic health attacks have to do with all of this? What I am about to explain and show is how easily your privacy can and for some is being taken away from you without your knowledge nor your consent, to take away your civil liberties and human rights to be able to speak without someone listen and or recording you. Now knowing that you cannot take a shower without the possibility of someone recording you. This is not a joke, and the technology for doing this is here now, and it costs under $2,000 to make. Terrorists, domestic terrorists and branches of our world's military are using it right now. Our army has unclassified documents, so do I. Explaining some of the weapons produced by this surveillance weapon, but wait, these weapons can be created and used in that little blue circle you see on GPS navigation. I thought I would say that before anyone said, those things can be done already. This weapon produces sonic health attacks, voice to skull, directional energy weapon, remote wireless communication and surveillance, sharing of information via satellite, C-band AM, FM modulation, two-way radio communication, radio over fiber, quantum optics and quantum radio, video and audio surveillance from inside a person's home, nonlinear, no camera or video recorder. And the biggest concern and reason for fear, it uses our GPS L1 1575.42 MHz navigation system for all of these weapons. This is not a joke, please check my research. This weapon works by using 3 generators and 3 diode lasers. Let us begin. Let's take a look at what a real sonic health attack is and what it can do. The 3 generators. All 3 generators are connected. GPS generator, simulator. This generator makes a GPS signal that is identical to a normal GPS. This means it makes signals and frequencies for AM, FM radio, two-way communication and TV. You can add frequencies to the L1 1575.42 MHz. With all of these generators and frequencies added together, it makes what is called a superposition beat frequency. This is when more than one frequency shares the same space at the same time, but the wavelengths are a little different. It is what the American diplomats heard in China, Cuba, Russia, and the Middle East. They were being spied on. This cannot be heard without microwave auditory effect hearing, which is obtained by being exposed to microwave radiation, which every one of these generators are producing. Now the frequencies that can be added to the L1 1575.42 MHz will also be wrapped around a laser, radio over fiber, ROF, but we'll get to that in a moment. Basically, the GPS signal will become a mobile electromagnetic field cavity to hold rubidium, Rb, atoms, Rb photons, Rb Rydberg. All of these things in mobility, standard frequency time signal, will be provided by the rubidium atomic clock generator. They will also aid in the production of quantum optics. Nonlinear visual surveillance, rubidium atomic clock generator. Remember, all 3 generators are connected. Is attached to the GPS generator. The rubidium generator makes rubidium atoms and photons. Rubidium is a soft silver metal. The atoms and photons that are made are pumped into the GPS L1 1575.42 MHz. The rubidium generator also provides standard frequency time signal, which gives the GPS operator control and mapping of the area and target. This weapon has the precision to target one person in a home. It's a GPS navigational system. Frequency comb generator also connected to rubidium and GPS generators as a signal generator produces multiple harmonics of its input signal. The appearance of the output at the spectrum analyzer screen, resembling teeth of a comb, gave the device its name. Comb generators find wide range of uses in microwave technology. E.g., synchronous signals in wide frequency bandwidth can be produced by a comb generator. The most common use is in broadband frequency synthesizers, where the high-frequency signals act as stable references correlated to the lower energy references. The outputs can be used directly, or to synchronize phase-locked loop oscillators. It may be also used to generate a complete set of substitution channels for testing, each of which carries the same baseband audio and video signal. Comb generators are also used in RFI testing of consumer electronics, where their output is used as a simulated RF emissions, as it is a stable broadband noise source with repeatable output. It is also used during compliance testing to various government requirements for products such as medical devices, FDA, military electronics, MIL STD 461, commercial avionics, Federal Aviation Administration, digital electronics, Federal Communications Commission, in the USA. When rubidium atoms and photons are Doppler-cooled, frozen, this is electromagnetically induced transparency, EIT, which a coherent optical nonlinearity which renders a medium transparent within a narrow spectral range around an absorption line. Extreme dispersion is also created within this transparency window, which leads to slow light described below. It is in essence a quantum interference effect that permits the propagation of light through an otherwise opaque atomic medium. 1. Observation of EIT involves two optical fields, highly coherent light sources, such as lasers, which are tuned to interact with three quantum states of a material. The probe 1550 nm field is tuned near resonance between two of the states and measures the absorption spectrum of the transition. A much stronger coupling field is tuned near resonance at a different transition. If the states are selected properly, the presence of the coupling field will create a spectral window of transparency which will be detected by the probe. The coupling laser is sometimes referred to as the control, or pump, the latter in analogy to incoherent optical nonlinearities such as spectral hole burning or saturation. EIT is based on the destructive interference of the transition probability amplitude between atomic states. Closely related to EIT are coherent population trap-in (CPT) phenomena, dark state negatives. If this were film, this would be the negatives. In atomic physics, a dark state refers to a state of an atom or molecule that cannot absorb or emit photons. All atoms and molecules are described by quantum states. Different states can have different energies, and a system can make a transition from one energy level to another by emitting or absorbing one or more photons. However, not all transitions between arbitrary states are allowed. A state that cannot absorb an incident photon is called a dark state. This can occur in experiments using laser light to induce transitions between energy levels, when atoms can spontaneously decay into a state that is not coupled to any other level by the laser light, preventing the atom from absorbing or emitting light from that state. A dark state can also be the result of quantum interference in a three-level system, when an atom is in a coherent superposition of two states, both of which are coupled by lasers at the right frequency to a third state. With the system in a particular superposition of the two states, the system can be made dark to both lasers as the probability of absorbing a photon goes to zero. The quantum interference in EIT can be exploited to laser cool atomic particles, even down to the quantum mechanical ground state of motion. 2. This was used in 2015 to directly image individual atoms trapped in an optical lattice. 3. The probe laser 1550 nm can now be modulated and sent out as a C-band over satellite to share with anyone with a dish or C-band SDR. Oh, and if the binary code of a GPS transceiver is BPSK modulated to the L1 1575.42 MHz portion of the GPS signal, it can do all of these things to the target's car. We know we have one in ours, but we can't find it. Now once again, remember, all generators are connected and they are functioning and running with lasers, microwaves and radio frequencies, so all of this A/B surveillance information travels at the speed of light. Wrap that around your heads. I will not be sharing how the weapons are made with this technology, and I really feel like the good from this technology outweighs the bad, but we cannot train every Tom, Dick, and Harry to use this technology because people are getting tortured with it and our terrorists have a background with military training. I am sharing this for help. We are being tortured. We kind of feel help is taking so long because a lot of people are waiting for the microwaves to fry our brains, or we die from a stroke or heart attack, which will eventually happen. Isn't that right, Army, CIA, FBI, Homeland Security, etc.? Help doesn't take years.